Hello guys, welcome back to Angry Bird video game series tutorial in Unity. In this video, we are going to learn about 2D physics in Unity. So, let's begin. In this video, we are going to make a simple 2D physics system in which our Angry Bird will simply roll down from this pole and hit this pillar, as you can see over here. So, let's start. First of all, we are going to create an Angry Bird. So, click on the hierarchy, right click, go to 2D objects, physics and dynamic sprite. Now let's rename it as Angry Bird. You can see a circle over here which we will soon replace with Angry Bird. There are several components over here like sprite renderer, circle collider and rigid body. Let's see what are these components are. Renderer allows us to see our sprites. Basically it is a component which helps us to see our sprite which is been made in any of the external tool like Blender. Then comes a collider. It is an invisible shape that Unity uses for the physics collision. We can't see this collider, but it helps us to collide the sprites with each other. Then finally comes a rigid body. With the collider, we can collide the objects, but we can't move the objects. For moving the objects with the physics system, we use the rigid body component. Now, as we have created our Angry Bird over here, let's click on it. Let's see what this component has. First, sprite renderer. Over here we can see the sprite which we will change in future. Then color, for temporary purpose we'll keep it as red. Then we have a circle collider on it and the rigid body. The body type is set to dynamic. Now let's create the ground. Click on the hierarchy, right click, go to 2D objects, sprites and square. Let's rename it as ground. Now go back to the scene. We will resize our ground as much as possible to clearly see in our game. Let's position it a little bit lower. Go back to game and you can see the preview. I'm setting it as this much low and let's change the color of the sprite as green. As you can see, our ground has only sprite renderer component on it. We need to collide our Angry Bird with the ground. So for that purpose, we are going to add a collider. Click on add component, search box collider 2D and simply add it on the component. Now let's see how it works. Go here and click on play icon. It will quickly recompile your scripts and let's see how it works. As you can see, the ball drops on the ground and it stops here. This is how the collider works. Now let's stop playing. Then next thing we are going to add is our pole. So right click, go to 2D object, sprites and square. Rename it as pole. Similar thing over here. We don't have any box collider or rigid body. So quickly add it. Box collider 2D and rigid body 2D. Now we will set the body type as dynamic. Now go back to scene and place it where we want. I'm resizing it first, as you can see over here, and place it on the ground. Done. Now we have to make a ramp. So click on 2D object, sprites, square, name it as ramp. Quickly add rigid body 2D and box collider 2D. Let's resize it. And click on E key to rotate the object. Place it where we want. Once we are done. So now let's play and see what happens. As you can see, our ramp collided with the ground and set fall like this. So now let's fix the issue. Stop playing. Come to ramp and over here in rigid body component, set it as static. Now let's play again. As you can see, our Angry Bird simply roll on the ramp and hit the pool. Now one last thing remaining is, let's move the ramp aside and play once again. So as you can see over here, the ball simply touches the ground and stops there. It doesn't feel very natural. We are going to add a bounciness to our Angry Bird. Come over here in the project, assets, create a new folder called as physics material. Open up the folder, right click, go to create, over here 2D and physics material 2D. Let's rename it as Angry Bird. Now we can see the friction and bounciness. I'm setting the bounciness as 0.5. Okay, so we haven't stopped playing. Let's go back to Angry Bird. Over here in Collider, you can see physics material. Drag and drop this physics material over here. And let's play again. Now you can see our Angry Bird bounces. You can easily alter the bounciness over here as per your need. Thank you guys. That's it for this lecture. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye.